Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aidan White, and I'm the General Director of the Fetisov Journalism Awards. And it's my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 7th Annual FJA Awards, which for the first time take place on this wonderful island of Cyprus. Our awards are special. They are unique. They highlight the stylish brilliance of journalism at its best by paying tribute to reporters from every corner of the world who tell the truth and who produce fearless, professional and courageous narratives that hold power to account and expose injustice. They show that despite the fears and uncertainty of the dark times in which we live, and in line with the vision of our founder Gleb Fetisov, that journalism can make the world a better place.
The day I graduated as a journalist, and right away I went outside to cover the protest.
I was seduced into journalism.
I started by investigating the murders of my family.
Doing journalism is actually an act of defiance every day against those who don't want the truth to come out.
I'm always shocked that somebody would tell me things they might not tell other people.
Our job is not just document the tragedies of people, but just really ask who is responsible and hold them accountable.
Even when you do expose it, the cover-up continues.
And that the people who should have been prosecuted and are instead protected. There have been many times in history when those people who said that they were telling the truth were shunned or dismissed or jailed or killed.
Despite all of this, good journalism is being carried out by courageous journalists who are telling their stories despite the difficulties that they face.
You have to be outraged at something and take an issue with something and have a responsibility to say something about it.
The US military had to respond to the concerns of these citizens, and that was one of the most remarkable things that happened in my career.
The best reaction was there was a group of Afghan youth who decided they wanted to start talking more about environment and climate issues in Afghanistan. And I think everybody in the country, or in any country in the world, thinks what's the most important thing is safety.
Mark Zuckerberg stood up and apologized to this crowd of grieving parents. I like to believe that some of our reporting led up to that moment.
I'm sorry.
Since the beginning, I always tried to explain stories that I feel they are necessary to be told.
The best antidote to disinformation is journalism, good journalism, quality journalism, ethical journalism.
Tonight, we celebrate the journalists who kept faith in what matters the most. They dare to find the truth and tell it to the world. Fetisov Journalism Awards.
Well, we're delighted to be meeting here in Cyprus, and we're so grateful to the support and solidarity of our Cypriot colleagues in putting this wonderful celebration together. Particularly, I want to point out the support of our partner and co-organizer, Christos Marangos, the CEO of the MC Group, who contributed so much to making this a successful event. Christos is just one of the honoured guests from Cyprus who have joined us this evening. I want to recognise the former president, Nikos Anastasidis, who is with us, and also the Attorney General of Cyprus, Georgios Demosthenous. Welcome to you. Here too is the Mayor of Limassol, Yannis, and also the Minister of Health, Neophytis Haralambidis. We've also got a representative from the Ministry of Education, Vula Kasparis. Welcome to you all. It's an honor to have you here tonight. We also have among these distinguished guests 3 of them who I would like to ask to say a few words. First, it's my great pleasure to invite Annita Demetriou, who is the President of the Cypriot Parliament. Please, Annita, come to the rostrum.
Thank you so much. Delighted that we are hosting these awards this year in Cyprus. It is for the first time, but it's the 7th time that these institutionalized awards, they are implemented, and we are so delighted to host them in Cyprus. Looking forward to have you all often, Mr. Gleb Fetisov, Yelena, Christos Marangos, Mr. Georgios Demosthenous, distinguished guests. It is indeed a real pleasure to be here tonight at these awards. The truth is that we are living in a time where information is everywhere, yet the truth often gets lost. This is exactly why this conversation matters. Peace, civil rights, justice, none of this can stand without facts. Without proper documentation and evidence, truth risks being replaced by noise. And let's be clear, in any democracy, speaking out matters. Raising concerns matters, but accusations without evidence don't create accountability. They create confusion, mistrust, and at times, chaos. And that is what ultimately weakens our institutions. The rule of law is our anchor. It safeguards rights, ensures fairness, and holds power accountable in the right way. If we allow it to be undermined by misinformation or unverified claims, we risk something far more serious: instability. And instability is the enemy of progress. Because facts unite, misinformation divides. That is why the work recognized tonight is so important, and special thanks again to Mr. Fetisov and Mr. Marangos to organize these awards here in Cyprus. Serious investigative reporting, reasonable advocacy, fact-based storytelling, these don't weaken institutions, they strengthen them, they build trust. Facts are not optional, truth is not negotiable. We are undoubtedly living very challenging times. And these are forces that thrive on division and uncertainty. That is why protecting democracy and the rule of law is more essential than ever. And it starts with something simple but powerful: the truth. I think Aidan said that before. Proven, documented, responsibly shared. This is the way forward, and it's clear truth, real accountability, and stronger institutions. And allow me to close my speech saying that in dark times, always there is the light. It always comes out ultimately. Let's bear that in mind. Thank you and enjoy your evening.
Thank you very much indeed, and we are very grateful to hear those words. They will cheer the hearts of many journalists, both in this room and beyond. Thank you. We were also honoured to have with us Mariel, who's a representative of the head of the church in Cyprus, Archbishop Georgios III. And I would like him to come to the rostrum to say a few words. Thank you.
I I convey the message of His Beatitude, the Archbishop of Cyprus, Mr. Georgios. We responded to this invitation with great pleasure and warmly welcome the Fetisov Journalism Awards, a distinguished institution that honors journalism serving truth and humanity. The Church of Cyprus recognizes the valuable contribution of journalists who, with courage and integrity, bring truth to light, defend human dignity, and shed light on injustice that often remain in the shadows. In a world where information is constantly being tested, responsible and objective journalism constitutes an act of duty towards society and towards human beings. For us in Cyprus, the pursuit of truth is inseparable, linked with the struggles of freedom. Regrettably, even in 2026, human rights in our country continue to be challenged to the ongoing occupation by Turkey. Therefore, every voice of truth is invaluable in the highlighting this reality to the international community. We sincerely hope that the work of journalists will continue to inspire, to awaken, and to serve peace, justice, and truth. With the warmest greetings, the Archbishop of Cyprus, Georgios.
Thank you very much. Another important and inspiring message for our colleagues. Unfortunately, I don't know if most of you will know, you're journalists, most of you will know that this is an important week for Cyprus. Unfortunately, the President of Cyprus, Nikos Christodoulidis, cannot be with us tonight. And that's not because he doesn't want to be, but because this is an important and historic week. Cyprus is hosting the presidency of the European Union, and in these days is hosting a European summit. So unfortunately, he is elsewhere. But he sends his best wishes, and we do have Yannis Antoniou, who is here on behalf of the government and the President, to say a few words on his behalf. Thank you very much, Yannis. Who I'm informed is a former journalist, and therefore is doubly welcome. Thank you.
Your Excellency, former President of the Republic, Your Excellency, President of the House, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is with great pleasure that I'm here tonight, having the honor to represent the President of the Republic of Cyprus at this special event. I convey to you his appreciation and greetings on behalf of the Government of the Republic of Cyprus. I welcome every one of you to Cyprus and wish you every success. It is important for our country to host high-level events on this kind. The Fetisov Journalism Awards contribute to the effort to promote correct and responsible information and offer motivation to journalists as well as to media owners for improvement, for development, and for excellence. The awards that will be awarded tonight touch the core of the contemporary problems that concern every society, every state, the world as whole. Human rights, peace, and environment are crucial areas for human activity. And of course, investigative journalism, which will also be honored tonight, serves the natural mission of the press to investigate, to verify, and to expose. I congratulate the Fetisov Foundation and the MC Media Group for organizing tonight's event. I also congratulate the winners and the nominees. I welcome you once again to Cyprus and wish you every success to your event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's also, thank you again for your encouragement and support. It's also important to note that we meet and we make this presentation on Earth Day, the 22nd of April. We do that in recognition of the important role that journalism plays in dealing with climate change and the environment. So, I want to thank all of you for your support and the warm words of welcome. I should also, and this is really one of the most important things to say, welcome all of our other colleagues from Cyprus who are here, not least George Frangos, the President of the Union of Journalists of Cyprus, and our own Christos Christofides, who serves on our expert and jury panel. We may be holding our meeting in Cyprus for the first time, but we have already established long, durable and lasting links with the island, and we are glad to cement them tonight. Now, I am delighted to introduce you to the person who will be guiding us through this ceremony tonight. She is Shada Islam. Shada is an award-winning journalist, writing on global and European affairs, who has built for herself a formidable reputation, not just in Brussels, where she is based, but all around Europe and beyond. She's a regular contributor to some of the world's leading media, and I am so grateful she has found the time to be our presenter this evening.
Good evening and welcome to the Fetisov Journalism Awards. Tonight we are honoring the power of good journalism, the courage of storytellers across the world, and the impact of truth in shaping our world today. As a journalist myself, and Aidan has very kindly introduced me, thank you Aidan. As a journalist myself, I know the power of good ethical journalism. These are the values that drive me in my profession. It is therefore my privilege to guide you through this inspiring evening. The Fetisov Journalism Awards were established in 2019 by Russian philanthropist Mr. Gleb Fetisov to honor exceptional contributions to investigative and ethical journalism. These awards are recognized as one of the most prestigious global prizes in the journalism world. They also offer substantial monetary rewards across 4 categories: outstanding investigative reporting, environmental journalism, contribution to civil rights, and contribution to peace. The awards are aimed at promoting truth and social change. They celebrate good quality journalism across the world. They expose corruption, advocate for justice, and address pressing global challenges. It is now my honor and my privilege to please welcome the FJA Awards founder, Mr. Gleb Fetisov.
Good afternoon, dear friends and colleagues. Our award includes nomination in 4 categories. All of them are important. But given the time we are living in today, I would like to place special emphasis on one of them, the award for contribution to peace. 3,300 years ago, the legendary Battle of Thousand Chariots took place. It was the culmination of a long war between Egypt and the Hittites, 2 superpowers of their time, dividing spheres of influence. Both sides suffered enormous losses. There was no victor. And in the end, inscribed in cuneiform on clay tablets, the first peace treaty in history was signed. It was called the Eternal Treaty of Peace and Brotherhood. And most people believed that there would be no more wars. Since then, thousands of wars have been fought, and thousands of peace treaties have been signed. Yet humanity once again stands on the brink of war, a global one, a potentially the most destructive of all. Everything is painfully reminiscent of the eve of previous world wars. We hear the rhetoric, paranoid politicians speaking of enemies and malicious intent that non-exist. Conflicts are once again emerging, organized along familiar lines, surrounded by the same alliances, all rattling their weapons. No election campaign includes a promise to wage war, because no nation would grant such a mandate. And yet, the world is governed by the selfishness and greed of elites, whose spoken motto seems to be plunder while the fire burns. The eternal thirst to conquer, driven by the endless struggle for resources and dominance, always gives rise to hosts who want more than anyone else. The duty of journalism is to prevent maniacal politicians and their hidden puppet masters from crossing the threshold in war. The suffering of the victims of war does not divide along nationality, skin color, or religion. Blood has only one color. Franklin Roosevelt once said, "Whenever peace is broken anywhere in the world, it threatens peace everywhere else." The idea resonates with all our nominations. For example, when we speak about journalism's role in protecting the environment, our planet has only one set of planets. If forests are destroyed in the Amazon or on Sumatra, the threat of lung disease extends to all humanity. All described by the well-known butterfly effect. The flap of butterflies' wings on the shores of Thailand can cause a tornado in Texas. However, in the famous laboratories of Los Alamos, it had been discovered that in quantum systems, the butterfly effect may not always apply. Some change can be reversed. The community of truthful journalism is precisely such a unique system within society, one capable of reversing the unfolding drama of our world at a moment when it's very existent in under threat. Your voice matters. The peace achieved in your help will make all sides winners and abolish defeat itself. Not long ago, Pope Leo X addressed journalism and said, "I urge you never forsell your power." He quoted the philosopher Hannah Arendt, "The ideal subject of totalitarianism is not be convinced native or convinced communist, but people for whom the distinction between fact and fiction, between true and false, no longer exists. Your mission is to ensure that people clearly see these distinctions and to help each individual build their own life strategy based on reliable information. The unification of millions of such individual strategies into a shared species of truth and justice is the most important path towards peace and stable future for our planet. I believe you will not sell your power, and together we will walk this path. Thank you for your job, for your work, and for your courage.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fetisov, for the remarks on fearless and fighting journalism in a fracturing world. Once again, let's give Mr. Fetisov a round of applause. So, more than 450 entries were submitted to the FJA contest in 2025. Indeed, impressive, a network across the world. Our expert council, made up of high-level professionals in global journalism, has undertaken the arduous task of preparing the shortlist. Let's now introduce the expert panel by looking at the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, many of you are here in the audience today, so welcome again. Now let's look at the selection of articles that represent the shortlist in 2025. Please, once again, let's look at the screen. Indeed, stories from across the world to make us cry, to make us angry, and most of all, to make us think about the state of the world and speak truth to power. The shortlist comprises 33 projects that showcase journalists from more than 25 countries. 4 of the shortlisted projects are team projects. The final list of winners for the Fetisov Journalism Awards was selected by our panel of jurors, who are all also distinguished professionals in journalism, media, and human rights advocacy. The jury members evaluate entries based on criteria such as courage, societal impact, adherence to truth, reflecting the award's mission to champion journalism that drives positive change. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the panel again. Those were the panel of juries. Many of them are also in the room, and you will see them on the stage as well, along with me. Now, before we announce the names of the winners, what you've all been waiting for, just to underline that these awards, the process is subject to independent auditing for the FJA 25 contest by KPMG, and they were entrusted with the mission of independent validation of the results. And I would now like to invite Mr. Georgios Demosthenous to please come to the stage for KPMG Cyprus. Georgios.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Let me first welcome you to Limassol, my hometown. I hope you enjoy your stay here. I also hope you enjoy this wonderful evening. A special thanks to the steering committee for the invitation. As KPMG, we have carried out an independent validation of the results of the 2025 Fetisov Journalism Awards competition. To that respect, I'm very proud to hand over the results to the chair of the steering committee, Eva Merkacheva.
Georgios, thank you so much, Eva, as well. And the envelopes have been handed over. Now, this year's nominees across all 4 categories reflect themes such as the climate crisis, the struggle for human rights, exposure of corruption, and underreported humanitarian challenges across the world. Hailing from 25 countries and more, the entries highlight journalism's power to drive accountability and inspire global change. We thank all the nominees for their hard work and dedication. Friends and colleagues, before we turn to the most important part of our evening, let's enjoy some more music. Please welcome Shakalis. you very much again. That energy is so infectious. I feel like dancing, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait. So welcome back, everyone, and we're now moments away from announcing the winners of the 4 categories of the Fetisov Journalism Awards 2025. Let's start with the Outstanding Investigative Reporting category, representing rigorous, in-depth journalism that uncovers hidden truths, systemic corruption, or abuses of power, often involving significant personal risk. The finalists in this category are as follows. Attention once again to the screen, please. Now like to call to the stage the General Secretary of the European Federation of Journalists, Mr. Ricardo Gutiérrez, to present awards in this category. Ricardo, come up and join me. You're up here on the stage. Yes. Ricardo, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. Good evening. It's once again a great pleasure for me to be asked to present the awards in the investigative category. True journalism, in whatever form, is about revealing what those in power wish to conceal. It is the most committed form of journalism, serving the public interest. I'm therefore deeply honored to introduce these winners to you.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Ricardo. Now please, you have to open the envelope and name the 3rd prize winner in this category, which is Outstanding Investigative Reporting. Hold your breath.
So the 3rd prize goes to Mariel Mueller.
And you have a 3rd prize, which is also 10,000 Swiss francs, in addition to the wonderful gifts and the flowers. And your report is on the horrific business of illegal trading in human organs. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you to the Fetisov jury for recognizing our work. It's a great honor. For this months-long investigative work, we traced the paths of organ sellers and recipients, analyzed leaked documents, and spoke with whistleblowers and medical experts. We uncovered how an international trafficking network operates, from a hospital in Kenya that lured young people from East Africa and Central Asia into selling their kidneys for as little as 2,000 euros, often without understanding the health risks, to a global agency attracting patients from Germany, Israel, and other countries, many of whom were considered too old to receive the transplant at home, and they pay 200,000 euros for a kidney. So this well-oiled system exploited the vulnerable on both ends, the poor desperate for cash and the sick hoping for a life-saving organ. So thanks to our investigation, parliamentary probes and criminal investigations were launched, transplant services at the affected facilities were suspended, and months later the alleged head of the global trafficking ring was arrested after being wanted by Interpol for more than 20 years. I'd like to especially thank my colleague Heiner Hoffmann, my editors at DW, our collaborators at Der Spiegel and ZDF, our local colleagues in Kenya, and most of all, the people who bravely trusted us, opened up to us, and shared their painful journeys with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mariel. Thank you, Ricardo. You have a job now, which is to open the second prize winner in this category. Let's do this.
And the second prize goes to a teamwork. Gina Marie Barton, Nicholas Stephen Penzenstadler, Tricia, Nadolny, Jayme Fraser for Untested, America's Rape in Black Coffee. It was a national scandal.
Please come up to the stage, wonderful winners. About the project, your report.
We are thrilled to be here accepting this award on behalf of our entire team at USA Today. In our investigation of the $350 million federal grant program to deal with the problem of untested rape kits, we found that federal, state, and local authorities failed to keep their promises to hold rapists accountable, make communities safer, and provide answers for survivors. And for many of those survivors, the attempts to engage with the criminal justice system only made things worse. But in addition to revealing problems, we wanted to provide solutions. We wanted to show how to make things better. And we discovered one way to do that in the city of Lansing, Michigan, where a team of amazing women works cold case rapes. Sarah Tunney is the victim advocate who, because of her own childhood, can empathize with people going through tough times. She supports them not only emotionally, but also practically. During the trial I covered, the coffee machine in the courthouse broke, so Sarah brought in instant coffee and a kettle to make sure everyone was sufficiently caffeinated. Ailish Gallagher is the prosecutor who always wears a hot pink suit for closing arguments in rape cases. She also has pioneered evidence-based prosecution, taking domestic abusers and sex offenders to trial, even if their victims are unwilling or unable to testify. And Annie Harrison is the sex crimes detective who always believes the victims and who put together a rock-solid case against a serial sex offender, even as she was helping her husband through a devastating cancer diagnosis. So for the work they do, and their willingness to share their experiences, I want to thank them. And we also would like to thank all of the other police officers and prosecutors who were willing to talk with our team about their cases, both the ones that went well and the ones that didn't. And of course, we want to thank all of the survivors of these horrible sexual assaults who were brave enough to speak their truth to the whole world by going on the record with us. We want to thank our editors and everyone at USA Today who contributed to this project and supported our reporting. And finally, we want to thank everyone at the Fetisov Foundation and the judges for this award and for recognizing the media's role in promoting human rights around the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gina. Thank you to your team as well. And now, the heartbeat gets faster and faster. Ricardo, the first prize for this outstanding investigative reporting.
And the first prize goes to Yuval Abraham from the area, gas journalist.
here this evening. Yuval Abraham is not here this evening, but he has sent us a videos which we are going to watch now.
For this award, I'm happy to accept it on behalf of myself and on behalf of the entire team of Israelis and Palestinians at Plus 972 Magazine and Local Call. The submissions that we submitted, the investigations that we've done, tried to hold powerful entities like the big tech companies and the Israeli military accountable for crimes, as we have seen a genocide taking place in the Gaza Strip. These investigations relied not only on an extensive network of sources and whistleblowers, but honestly also on our own team and our own cooperation internally between a very large group of people, not that large, but a group of people, Israelis and Palestinians, who work together for Plus 972 Magazine and share the same values, the same commitment on the one hand to human rights and anti-apartheid stance, and on the other hand to very rigorous and fact-based journalism. And I think this combination has proven, at least for us, to be very valuable in these times as journalism is facing a crisis all over the world. So again, thank you very, very much. This recognition means a lot to us. We are a small publication, but receiving this recognition from our peers and from all of these really powerful and strong and important stories that have been showcased tonight means a lot. So thank you again for the award, and I hope you have a good night. I'm sorry I could not be there. Thank you.
Yuval's story is indeed very important. Thank you so much, Ricardo, for helping me with this. And of course, the prize money, 100,000 Swiss francs, and the award will be delivered to him. So thank you very much for that. Now, let's see what lies ahead. Now we're going to move on to the second category, and that is, of course, excellence in environmental journalism. This award category honors outstanding reporting on environmental issues, including climate change, conservation, pollution, and sustainability. Let's see the finalists in this extremely important category in today's world. Once again, let's watch the screen. To help me with this part of our session, our celebrations, I'd like to ask Sala Nazarenko, please to join me here on stage. You are, of course, an international affairs specialist at the Union of Journalists in Finland, and help me present the award, Sala.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. It's a profound honor to be here again presenting the Fetisov Awards for Excellence in Environmental Journalism 2025. I don't think I have to remind you of how many problems the humankind is facing at the moment, but I would like to stress that the most life-threatening, existence-threatening are still remain climate change and mass extinction of species. So I cannot stress enough the importance of this category and the work that our colleagues are doing covering the environmental and climate crisis worldwide every day. So it's my great pleasure to be now handing out the prizes.
Thank you, and I'm going to make you work hard for this. So please open the envelope and announce the name of the third prize winner in this category. Let's do this.
So, Excellence in Environmental Journalism, third prize goes to Oliver Max Nicholas Lowland, Sarah Case Sneed, and William Ryan Kraft from the United States. The huge US toxic fire shrouded in secrecy, and I taste oil in my mouth.
Words from you, please.
Thank you so much for this recognition. It means a huge amount to both Sarah and I to see the communities of Louisiana's so-called Cancer Alley recognised globally with this accolade. We're indebted to the dozens of residents who live in one of the most polluted and disenfranchised parts of the United States, who shared their stories with us and really worked as partners in the reporting process, which lasted a full year. We'd also like to thank our colleagues Will Craft, the editors Michael Hudson and Alice G, and also our partners at the research group Forensic Architecture, who invested their extraordinary expertise in visualising this terrible accident and helped us report from the ground. We reported this story before the outcome of the 2024 presidential election was decided, but under the new Trump administration, these communities in Cancer Alley are already bearing the brunt of sweeping environmental rollbacks. Their stories remain such an important part of political discourse in the United States. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Thank you. Sarah, it's now your time to announce the name of the second prize winner in this category. Please open the envelope. Suspense. Here we go.
So, in Excellence in Environmental Journalism, the second prize goes to Vincenzo L. Pfizer, Canada. A 60 billion a year climate solution is sitting in our junk drawers.
Welcome.
Wow! Thank you so much to all of the jury, to the Fetisov Foundation, to everybody. I must admit, I was not expecting to be up here. There were so many other teams with so many people and so much amazing journalism. I didn't really prepare a speech, to be honest. But I will say, I'm very happy that the article that I wrote. I really hope that it helps to bring some attention to people in Lagos, Nigeria, who are working around the clock for pennies every day, recycling our electronic waste, our old cell phones, our old laptops that end up not only in Nigeria, but in many, many poor countries around the world, where it's really some of the poorest of the poor who bear all the burden, who breathe in all the toxins and who have to deal with all the waste, much of which that we produce. So I'm very grateful to the folks there who shared their stories with me, who allowed me to spend time with them. Also very much to Bukolo Adebayo, local journalist in Nigeria, fantastic journalist who I worked with on this story. To my editors at Mother Jones magazine, who brought it forward. And also let me say, I don't want to sound crass, but the money actually is really important. And I say this, I'm a freelancer. I'm an independent journalist. Mother Jones, I don't know if it's something to applaud or if it's something to feel sorry for me for, but anyway. The point is, and Mother Jones also, it's a non-profit magazine. And at a time when, the whole business of news, as we all know, is in such crisis, it's harder and harder to find the resources to support, the kinds of amazing investigations that we've heard about tonight, the kind of in-depth journalism the world really needs. It's very important. This kind of support from foundations, from wealthy donors, from people who have the means, it really makes a big difference in enabling us to do the work that we do. So, thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Vince. Truer words were never spoken. This is perfectly true. Thank you so much. These awards mean a lot. Right now, we're going to find out the name of the first prize winner. Shada?
So, the first prize goes to Stéphane Auvel from France for a developing project and so on and so forth, a series of articles.
Welcome. This was very important, so please take the floor.
Thank you. I'm not Stefano.
I know you're not, you're Marta Frigero.
I'm here representing a team of 46 journalists. We were coordinated by Le Monde and Stéphane Auvel, and we worked together for over a year with scientists and experts, and we investigated the lobbying and disinformation campaign over PFAS industry, and they are trying to water down the European proposal to ban these forever chemicals.
Yeah.
We published more than 140 articles in 15 languages, and we also work with international experts to estimate the cost of pollution. And we believe in journalism for the public good and an investigative report that can really make a difference. And thank you very much.
Thank you. It was indeed an excellent story about a cover-up. Thank you so much indeed again, Salah. Thank you also for joining me. As well, okay, friends and colleagues, now it is time to announce the third category of the awards for this evening, and that is contribution to civil rights. And this category honors impactful reporting on issues of equality, justice, and human rights. It recognizes journalists whose work exposes discrimination, amplifies marginalized voices, and holds power accountable. Let's watch the screen for the finalists of this award category. Once again, amazing people and amazing stories. Could I call Eva Merkacheva, please, onto the stage? You are, of course, an investigative journalist, author, human rights defender, lecturer in journalism, and, of course, co-founder of our awards. Eva, let's give a big hand to Eva.
Hello, everybody, and I'm ready.
So let's have the envelope and open for the third prize winner for contribution to civil rights category. Let's do this, Eva.
Yes, 1 second. Third prize, contribution to civil rights. The dark woods of illegal adoption in Egypt.
Please come to the floor. Salah Eldin Ibrahim Al-Musi Rabai.
It's a great honor to be here today. I firmly believe that our role as journalists is to expose injustice and to break the silence that allows it to grow and remain hidden. When I began this investigation, I was confronted with a reality that could not be ignored. The investigation was in truth the product of supportive professional environment at Independent Arabia. I extended my sincere thanks to Editor-in-Chief Adwan Al-Ahmari for his professional support, which made it possible to carry out this investigative work without constraint. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Now, Eva, who gets the second prize?
Yes, second prize. Second prize, Miriam Paramita Singh, Jakarta.
Yes. Miriam Paramita Singh.
Wow. I didn't expect this, but thank you so much for the Fetisov Charitable Foundation, to the Fetisov jury, for recognizing our work. This is a really important story about a nickel boom that has been framed as part of the green EV industry. But on the other hand, it has also led to criminalization and displacement of indigenous people from their ancestral forests on Halmahera Island in Indonesia. So this story was done when I was with BBC News Indonesia. I have moved out to another place. So I want to thank my editors at BBC for allowing me to spend months to interview dozens of sources and to do extensive research to do this story. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Terima kasih, Delia. Right, the moment we've been waiting for. The first prize winner of the Fetisov Journalism Awards for the contribution to civil rights is...
One moment. The first prize, contribution to civil rights, Pierre Francois Leibovitch. From France.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much to the jury and the expert council. The stories I wrote for Disclose, French non-profit media, are about the true price of the goods sold by one of the major sports retailers in the world, Decathlon. You may have heard of them. In in the past years, they have opened one store every 4 days in the world. And in France, where I come from, they are national pride. But we unveiled another story with Disclose, the story of forced labor and child labor inside the supply chain of Decathlon in Bangladesh and in China. And so for all these people, all these tiny fingers who are obliged to work for us to consume accessible goods, I want to say just thank you for honoring this work. And I also have a huge thanks to my editor, Matthias, who already has received the prize from the FJA, so we have a second one in our office. And a special thanks to my partner and my daughter who accepted me to work late in the evenings for a month to produce this film. Thank you very much.
Merci. Eva for helping me here on stage, and we're moving on to the fourth category of the awards, and this is for the outstanding contribution to the peace, world peace category, which honors individuals or organizations that have significantly advanced global peace through ethical reporting, conflict resolution, or fostering dialogue, often by exposing injustices, promoting reconciliation, or reducing tensions through media. Please, eyes on the screen for the finalists of this speech. Mr. Pravit Rojan Krook to join me on stage. You are, of course, an award-winning journalist yourself, an advocate for press freedom, columnist and senior staff writer at Household English, online English language news organization based in Bangkok. Welcome, and you are going to help me.
Good evening. I just have a few words before we proceed. Simply because of the state of the world that we are in. One would have thought it is most preferable for all of us to have peace and live in a peaceful world. But we live in an era where demonstrating for peace in some countries is seen as unpatriotic, if not even illegal. Blinded by ultranationalism and/or hatred, peace is not necessarily a desirable state for some today. Some criticize just one side or the other, not as friends or not even as fellow human beings, but as enemy or something less than human. As a result, you no longer see the other as fellow human beings like yourself, and as a result, you lose your humanity. When calling for war, that kills not just soldiers, but civilians, including women and children, it also kills humanities in the very people who are calling for war. Unable or unwilling to grasp the complexities of some wars that is not binary, neither black nor white, or simply good versus evil, some became part of the problems. war of attritions, war of annihilations, war of domestic popularity boosting, war of aggrandizement, war of religious extremism. Think beyond the nationalist narrative, if you can. For those behind Fetisov Journalism Award had the foresight to recognize peace as one of the four main categories. And this evening, given the state of the world, it couldn't have been more apt. And I am honored to present the three winners of the award for the best or excellent contributions for peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Hamid. And now we're going to open the envelope for the third prize. So let's do this now.
So the third prize for outstanding contribution to peace goes to Annita Distarevic Tamisia.
Bravo! Annita!
Congratulations.
This recognition is not just personal.
Can you move a bit closer to the microphone?
Thank you. This recognition is not just personal, it reflects the courage of the people whose stories we tell and the responsibility we carry as journalists. In the world often shaped by division, journalism has the power to build understanding, hold truth in the center, and give voice to those who are too often unlisted. I believe that peace is not only the absence of conflict, but the presence of justice, accountability, and empathy. Thank you for valuing this kind of work and for reminding us that telling honest, human stories still matters. Thank you for Judge, and thank you for my editors also.
Thank you, Annita. Thank you very much indeed. Now, Hamid, the second prize in this category goes to?
Second prize for the outstanding contribution to peace goes to Ali Al Ibrahim of the United Kingdom.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy and glad to be here tonight. Until today, more 100,000 civilians disappeared and missing in Syria. And I hope this prize will attention and highlights for these civilians missing inside the prisoners, Syria regime. And I need to say many thanks for Fetisov Journalism Award team and Jury Awards. And of course, I need to say many thanks and special thanks to my wife and love, Ahla, and our little hero, Hamoudi, and the new baby coming soon. And of course, to all my team and journalists support me and help me to continue my work. And I hope this award will help us to continue to make a new investigation to help us to make justice, accountability, and to read the truth. And special thanks to all the journalists and especially in Siraj and the other. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Ali, for your groundbreaking work. Thank you so much indeed. Hamid, the moment is here now. We're going to name the first prize in the Outstanding Contribution to Peace category.
And the first prize for Outstanding Contribution to Peace goes to Wolfgang Brauer from Germany, The Forgotten.
Brauer, The Forgotten.
You see me overwhelmed. My goodness. Thank you for the wonderful invitation to this wonderful place here in Cyprus. I thank the jury for having the courage not to look away from the horrors that have occurred and continue to occur in Sudan. That's just how it is in our media business. We are spending attention less and less. We rather stay in our offices and do our research over the phone less and less often. We go out to the people, out to the villages where the future, in my opinion, is decided. We are increasingly trapped in the algorithm of our editorial systems, which topic got the most clicks, which topics led to subscription. The world of events and international connections has become so vast, and the world of commercial journalism becomes so small and is growing even smaller. We tend to report on mental health, partnerships, income, how to make money on the Trump boy, but we report less and less on the unexpected, the new, and the complex. And that's why we almost never report on the bloodiest conflict of our time, the war in Sudan. I've reported on so many conflicts around the world, but rarely I've been so lost for words as during these 2 weeks in the Al-Now hospital, which is a report on in the capital, Omdurman of Sudan. At that time, more than a year ago, Al-Now was the only hospital in Sudan's capital that still had the capacity to perform major operations. It was a last resort for tens of thousands of people, their last hope, a hope that would prove futile for so many. The dying in the hospital, surrounded by on 3 sides from the front line and exposed to rocket fire almost daily, was overwhelming. I believe, I know death. It is a constant companion in my work, but this death was new to me. So much death in such a small space, and so few people here in Europe and elsewhere will care about the suffering. During our research, we and the photographer Johanna Maria Fritz and I were the only foreign journalists in this large, wounded, bleeding country. No one knows the exact number of victims of this war. No one counts the dead, the injured, the raped. No one is paying attention anymore, or have you ever paid attention? For the leaders of the fighting factions, war has long been a better business than peace. The major powers, America and Europe, have turned away and left Sudan to the claws and the power appetite of unleashed regional powers. If it's true that the future is written in Africa, then it will be a very bleak future, because it's not only Sudan that is bleeding, but also Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. The state architecture of an entire region is disintegrating. If we do not care about the suffering of others, the pain of Muna Majek, a patient I met in the hospital, the pain of Hassan Al-Tahan, of Zina Issa, of Nada Abdul Gassim, then we should at least care about our own pain. We don't feel it yet. The nightmare still
seems far away, but our neighbor's nightmare could be soon ours. That's why I ask everyone not to turn away. There's so much suffering in this world. It is hard to bear. Many look away. I understand that. I cannot. I'm afraid to look away. I'm afraid of losing parts of my humanity. I'm afraid to lose the reason I breathe, the reason I eat, the reason I think. I have so many people to thank. First and foremost, our friend and translator Ismail Al-Sheikhi, the photographer Maria Fritz, and her patient, my editorial team, who have the commercial madness to send reporters to countries like Sudan. And I thank all the doctors, nurses, and volunteers at Al-Now Hospital for what they do every single night, also tonight, which will be another night when people die in Al-Now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard. Thank you very much indeed. The Forgotten, a very, very important story about the civil war in Sudan. Thank you very much indeed. Big hand of applause for him. Right, it's been so inspiring, really, all of this, the awards, the people, the stories that we have brought to the fore. I'd like to now give the last words to two people. First of all, I'd like to invite Christos Marangos of the MC Group to the stage for a few words. No? Yes. Yep, absolutely. So, I knew that. Thank you very much. Aidan. I'd like to invite Miriam Levy Turner, President of the Fetisov Charitable Foundation, to the stage.
Kalispera Seulos. Good evening, everyone. As we come to close this very special event, I want to take just a moment to reflect on what we've shared tonight. The Fetisov Journalism Award was created with a simple but powerful purpose: to honor courage, integrity, and truth in journalism. Tonight, once again, we have seen that purpose come alive. Through the extraordinary work of our winners, your stories matter. Your voices matter. Each of us with a different viewpoints. And in a world that often feels uncertain, your commitment to truth makes a real difference. To us, to all of the FJA laureates, congratulations, felicitations. You remind us why journalism is not just a profession, but a public service. My deepest thanks to our founder, Mr. Gleb Fetisov, and his family for their unwavering support. None of this would exist without you. To my co-board member, Yelena Martino, for her vision and directions behind the scenes. To Mr. Aidan White for your insight and dedication, as well as overseeing the organization of this evening up to the last silverware. We all agree of how the result came up. It's wonderful. And to the entire FJA management meeting, your hard work behind the scenes is what makes this evening look so effortless. But we know it isn't. Eva, Nadia, Elena, and Juliana, and Alfredo in the Geneva Swiss Fetisov Office Foundation. Thank you very much. And finally, to everyone who contributed to making tonight possible, the government and representatives of the different Cypriot institutions, our partners, jury and expert committee, coming from all parts of the globe. After spending weeks of reading, I heard your voices before. Organizers, Christos Marangos from MC Group, and guests, thank you for being part of this mission. Now, since this is our 7th event, nearly 500 applicants from 82 countries, I think it is fair to say we are no longer the new awards on the block. We're not quite old, but we're at that stage where we know what we're doing most of the time. So at least we know well enough that the microphones work, the lights stayed on, and everyone found their seats. So I would call that success. Yeah! But in all seriousness, each year we grow stronger, more global, and more impactful. And that is because of you all. As we look to next year, we do so with ambition and hope to reach more journalists, to amplify more important stories, these are incredible, and to continue standing firmly for truth and integrity. Thank you again for your presence, your support, and your belief in what we are building together. Have a wonderful evening and stay in beautiful Cyprus, and we look forward to seeing you again next year. Sas Evkaristo.
Don't forget the flowers, Miriam. Well deserved. So, friends, colleagues, excellencies, we're coming to the close of this very inspiring celebration. On behalf of the organizers, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to the many individuals and organizations who made these awards possible. First and foremost, from the organizers, a heartfelt thank you to the expert council and to the jury. We're, of course, very, very grateful to the Fetisov Charitable Foundation. Miriam has just spoken. Also to Aidan, not least for asking me to host these ceremonies. Thank you. And also to the FJA Steering Committee. To our wonderful partners, the Park Lane Resort and Spa, to the incredible DEDL Event Agency, and to the MC Group. Now, that's all from me, in a special thanks, of course, to the founder of the Fetisov Journalism Awards, Mr. Gleb Fetisov. Thank you all very, very much for what has been absolutely fascinating evening.